Hello and welcome to Deeper. This is a podcast where we have honest conversations with some fascinating people who have lived unique lives, and it comes together with our YouTube series Deep. We provide a deeper window into lives and experiences of our amazing guests, and if you like this episode, please consider subscribing because there will be a new one every week. My name is Mariana and I'm joined today by Harry. Harry, hi, it's really nice to have you here. Can you please give us a short intro to who you are and why you're here?
I'm Hari Budha Magar. I'm former Gurkha soldier, mountaineer, and I'm the first double above knee amputee to climb Mount Everest.
That's quite a lot of things here. You're quite a lot of things. I really want to find out about all of the parts of your story. So I think let's start from kind of the beginning of it all. And I'm really interested in your childhood. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I was born in western part of Nepal and grew up to age of 19 in Nepal. Then I joined the British Army and came over to UK.
Can you give me the setup of your childhood in Nepal? Like, where was it? Is it up in the mountains? Is it a small village? What did it look like?
I grew up in hills. I would say about 2,700 meters. There wasn't any hospital, so I grew up. I was born in a cow shed, and I went barefoot to school. There was no pen and paper, so I learned how to write on wooden plank with a chalk stone. I had to walk about 45 minutes each way to the school. When I came back, I had to go up the hills, so it took slightly longer. I had to go walk another day to walk to my secondary school and high school. So in Nepal, secondary school is 6 and 7, and high school is 8 to 10.
And so after that, you finished school, and then you pretty much you work in.
Yes, at that time, so it was class 10 is similar to here, like
Right.
GCSE. Then I went to. I failed a few times. In Nepal, if you, let's say, fail it, you stay in class forever.
Right.
So you see different age after the children in there.
Obviously, I think for a lot of probably Western listeners, that would all sound like, wow, that's like a very different childhood. Can you also give us a little bit of an understanding what Nepal was like as a country back then? Because if I'm not mistaken, there was civil war and there was quite a lot of unrest. So what was that like?
It is difficult, so at that time, I think it was 30 years that one of the regime went and the democracy came, and after the I remember that there was lots of politics in school and many others. Later it eased what is called strict regime, and like more and more people doing the politics and having their own organizations, and those was like that. And some ways there is one group, they decided that they want to change the Nepal through arms, and which civil war started. It lasted for 10 years, and I grew up during that time, and luckily they are in the government now. So yeah, we have a peace now. So,
have you witnessed quite a lot of like violence? Was there a lot of violence on the streets? What was it like? Because like if you imagine living in a country that is torn by a civil war, I'm imagining that the conditions are quite extreme.
Yes, ideology is really, really crazy things that, let's say even like same family, the brothers have different opinions, and like say father and son having different opinions, and it was sometimes it was really, really brutal. In my village, there were 21 people died when I joined the British Army, when I left the village. So later, the more people got killed, but most of them, the innocent people who got killed. And when I look at, I've been a couple of conflicts around the world as part of my job.
Yeah.
And there are few things that who actually drives war, like poverty, education, ideology, money,
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
So I remember why, and the place that I grew up, it was pretty much headquarters of that uprising. So
Right.
it was very difficult, and we didn't have much choice. So your children go to school, and whether they come back or not, this is how kind of.
Right.
And there is two different sides, and you have no middle ground. You have to step on one side. And in some ways, I was fortunate to escape that and join the British Army. But again, I went to another war after that.
That's a good way to escape from. So moving on to that, can you explain a little bit about the Gurkhas? So Gurkhas are Nepalese soldiers, but they're still part of the British Army. How does that work?
So Gurkhas are simply men from Nepal who serving as a soldier in foreign countries, mainly United Kingdom, India, Singapore, and Brunei. So mainly. And we are recruited in Nepal and come here. So we are serving for the United Kingdom over 209 years. Simply, we fought with the British, and later we had some negotiations. So, okay, we're not going to fight. So this is why Nepal was never colonized. And so I think British understood that our fighting skill was pretty good. So we got on with the British and fight around the world. And pretty much all the conflicts that Great Britain got involved, the Gurkhas got involved. And 1/3 of Nepalese men's population were serving for the Gurkhas.
Wow. Because when I was reading about Gurkhas, I've found out that they, like in Second World War, there were Gurkhas like fighting.
We fight from First World War. So the first we started was 1815.
I've read this quote. If a man says he's not afraid of dying, he's either lying or he's a Gurkha. So basically, you're quite famous for being super brave. And as you said, like British quite quickly understood that Nepalese people are quite good at combat and everything. Why do you think you're like that? What is this mentality? Is this like really part of the way Nepalese people are? Like you just really like tough people?
I think we're a little, but we can run up and down the hills quite fast. But we are also, little ones. So,
right.
We are a smaller target.
It's harder to get.
I think it's mainly is the our physiology, the geographical that we grew up, but also the culture that we grew up. So simply Nepal is known by mainly three, and that is Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Lord Buddha was born in Nepal, and also home of the Gurkhas. So if you go around the world, and if you maybe lots of people who doesn't know where the Nepal is, but if they tell them about these three things, people knows some ways, one way or another.
So basically, how did it come around that you decided to join Gurkhas? And also, is it considered something like a prestigious thing to do in Nepal? Like, I don't know, did your dad, for example, was like, please, Harry, I want you to go and join? Like, is this like a big thing?
Yeah, it's mainly a couple of things. Mainly, so joining Gurkhas is also the culture.
Right.
We call it Lahuris, who actually go abroad and work for armies. We call it Lahore in Nepali. And we have that culture in Nepal that men go abroad and just, earn money and look after like our families, whole families. That's one thing. But some of the Gurkhas who has generations that who's serving for the British Army, so pretty much 3-4 generations continuously serving. Some of them, even all the brothers are serving
Wow.
in the Gurkhas. One of the
Yeah.
Gurkhas, maybe some of them in Indian Army, some of them in British Army, served from First World War, Second World War, some of them to recent conflicts of Afghanistan and Iraq. It's like a kind of culture. But for me, it was different. So I'm the only one, the Gurkha in my family. And my father, he ran away and went to join in the India. But my granddad didn't allow him to join it. That time was like more about, you may die, it's still is that, but it's very less likely. It's not like it was before. My dad always told, we are 3 brothers. I'm the oldest one, and my dad always told me that one of you should join the army. I think you can't join the British Army; it is too tough. But join Indian Army. If it's not, then join still Nepalese Army. The dreams and whatever we do doesn't come magically in our mind. So someone, tell us to do, or we see something and follow that. And also in school, some of my senior schoolmates who joined the Gurkhas, so I just follow them, and simply it happened. And in that year, we were more than 12,000 applicants, and I got into 230.
Wow. So I was going to ask you about the process of training process, because again, from what I've heard and read, it's quite full on. It's quite like hard. So as you said, 12,000 applicants and there's like 230 of you who actually got through. So what was it like? And also, what is the training for Gurkhas like?
So first is a selection.
Yeah.
So selection, at that time, it's in three stages. I think it's still the same now. And first, the recruiters go in a village. So maybe a couple of hundred, 100 potential recruits. And one recruiter can only select 60 of them. And you go to the regional selection. And regional selection, out of 60, there are only the 6 you have a vacancy, so you have to throw other somehow. Then 6 of us, we went to central selection, which is a month. So they test you from your fitness. There is a very famous selection process that carrying a basket at the back and running uphill to without load running. The tests are like social skills. Can be able to work in teams, because some people are very individualistic and they are not fit for military, because military is all about teamwork. But also they test our IQ, they test our medical, they test our command skills, and they test our academics, mainly math and English. They test you pretty much everything and find out who you are, and finally you get selected. Many cry. I was very, very fortunate enough to join in first attempt. Some of tried 3-4 attempts, and there is an age bracket only you can join, so 18 to 22 at that time. So
that's
only
quite narrow window.
Yeah, that is only age group that you can able to join the Gurkhas.
Once you became once you went through that process, once you're that's it, you're in the army. What did you specialize in? Because I'm imagining there are different things you can do. Yeah. So what were you're specializing in, and how did it progress from there?
I was infantry, so I was the first battalion, the Royal Gurkha Rifles.
Mm.
I wasn't not that brainy enough to go to some of the regiments like engineers or signalers.
One of the things again you hear about Gurkhas, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of like going through all the stereotypes, but forgive me for that. But basically, one of the things you hear about is that you get like the special knife, which you can then keep you can then keep it, like you have it through your whole kind of life. So I know you brought one. Can you show it to me? Can you show it on camera?
Yeah. So this is a kukri.
Okay.
A kukri knife. We call it kukri, and this is a signature weapon for the Gurkhas. So if you see any of the Gurkha regiments who has got at least kukri symbol on their cap badge.
Okay.
Some of them like a two crossed, some of them like this one, some are facing downwards, some are facing upwards, whatever that is. But this is kukri. So simply, there's normally in the regiment we have two different kind of kukris. Mainly, one is like this one, and just to use day to day, or in the field, in the war, you use it, this one. Another one is ceremonial one, like say if you see the Gurkhas guarding Buckingham Palace and you see shiny black kukris at their back, then that's the one when you do that drills and so that's what we use. And this is simply kukri. So
looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, it's very sharp. So simply this is to chopping from like woods to to chopping enemies if you need to. So this is how we fought. So
Right.
Because this is our signature is in old days in 1815, 17, I think it was like an Anglo-Nepal war. That time we fought with these ones, with the British.
So basically, it looks full on. So basically, this is like a traditional Nepalese knife then that was used in combat.
It's a domestic, simply a tool, a knife.
Right, okay.
We use day to day in Nepal, simply.
Right.
So Nepalese people in the villages, they're just day to day chopping meat to chopping woods to chopping whatever that is.
Yeah, like animals, like whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is.
So, but did you use this knife in combat?
Yes.
Did you kill anyone with it?
I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. But can you, in the UK, is it you're allowed to carry it
Gurkhas
around?
Gurkhas are allowed to carry. So normally you're not allowed to carry the knives, with you. But we are allowed to. We don't put in our handbag. We're not allowed to. But yeah. So we have got a weaving. So like on our body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go in battlefield, then every Gurkhas are carrying these knives. It depends on there are different sizes as well. Mm-hmm. So they will be carrying different purpose for different sizes kukris.
Where were you deployed? What was your first kind of assignment? Where did you go?
I arrived in my regiment 10 o'clock in the morning, and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was flown to Kenya.
Kenya.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. Then after that, I went to Brunei. From Brunei, I served many countries in Southeast Asia. Mm-hmm. I came back again. I was deployed to Bosnia and Kosovo as a part of peacekeeping force, mainly. Initially K4, then become U4, later. Then finally, I was deployed in Afghanistan. That's where I work. I lost my both legs.
So how did that happen? What happened there?
We're on foot patrol. We're about we were 20 people. We're all single file. On that day, we had two missions. One mission was to give a security to two engineers who were going to recce the old damaged well, so later they can go and repair a well. Another one is to familiarize with the new area. That was it. And we passed a couple of compounds, some irrigation ditches, and we just working on the side of the poppy field, and suddenly went bang, and my life changed that way.
Did you understand in the moment what happened? What was exactly happening to you? Did you stepped on the explosive device? Is that the right way to call it?
Yes, I stepped on IED,
Yeah.
so improvised explosive device, simply it's homemade bomb.
Right.
And luckily it was partially, exploded, and I lost my right leg straight away. It wasn't there. I had left leg, but it was just, dangling and bone and skins, and also injured my right arm, you see.
Yeah.
And couldn't able to move. So my friends came around me, cleared the bomb around, and patched me up, called a heli and evacuated me, and they saved my life. And I'm very grateful to all those my colleagues that who were in that patrol, who rescued me, who treated me in hospitals, in my rehabilitations, and also taught me all those sports and adventures, and helped me out to wherever I am.
I mean, it's quite a lot. Like, it's a serious injury, and as you said, you could have easily not made it if the people didn't help you. So, how old were you at that point?
I was 31.
So, what happened after that? So, you obviously, that's it. Like, it's the end of military career.
The first thing was definitely my career was gone. And I was about to promote to next rank. And I didn't know how long I was going to keep my job. And I was a breadwinner for the family, and not just here in the UK, which we just moved to UK from Brunei. And I have very young children, and also many of my families who financially depend on me in Nepal as
course.
well. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't aware of disability. I never seen the people working on the metal legs like myself. And in sense of disability, I wasn't that aware. I wasn't that educated. So I have seen. I saw when I was growing up. I saw how disabled people were treated back in the villages and in other part of Nepal, and how disabled people are perceived. And that was very, very hard for me to overcome. And that is really, really hit me. And I didn't know what to do. I thought that way. And it was difficult. And about 1.5 year, 2 years of my time, I really didn't know what to do. I thought my life is gone. I thought that I have to sit on a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and I would need a carer for the rest of my life. I didn't know whether my wife was going to stick with me for rest of my life. It's just didn't know. I think I would be treated as I saw how disabled people were treated, like locked into the room, or hiding in from the community, hide them from. That's what many places around the world that they hide the people with disability. Even I remember that I went back to Nepal, and I was waiting someone else, and one of the ladies similar to my age, she was very innocent. She came and said, "You got fake legs?" And I said, "Yes, I do have." And said, "Don't you wear trousers?" I said, "No, I don't wear." And if you wear, it would look normal. And I says, "This is normal to me." I told her, you look good. She says, "I think I'm good." But this is the so she was very innocent that maybe if you hide it, then people wouldn't. So I was, I remember that. I was waiting a taxi at airport, and many people looking me like an alien. Some aliens, And even when I walk in the town, and many people just said they stare you and they keep looking at you until you are out of their sight. So that's how it was, but still it is. You know, it's like, I think people, if you see someone that you never seen it before, then I think it creates the curiosity to the people, and many people still, if they don't know me, then still they talk down to me, and that, this is the way the people perceive many places, not just in Nepal, but many places around the world.
As you said, adjusting to life with a disability, and it is quite a severe disability. Also, like both legs, as you said, you were not sure what was going to happen and stuff. How do you think emotionally that was? How do you think it affected your? Do you think it affected your mental health? How you were dealing with that?
You name it. Everything I went through, from feeling alone, depressed. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I felt worthless. Simply, I thought that my life is done. And at one point, I turned into very alcoholic. When I didn't drink, my hands were shaky. And I thought, if I'm going that way, I will die soon. And one day, actually a few times, tried to take my life myself. But I think later, just looking at my especially son's face, he was around 3 years old, I think, when I 2.5 years old when I got injured. But about 3 years old, looking at his face, just some ways I couldn't take my life and say, okay, I'm going to live my life, no matter what. Even sitting on wheelchair, I will still, advise him what to do. Maybe I don't know much, but I'll do my best to, just maybe guide him some ways. And if I die myself, then I'll create more problem, not just myself, but also to my families, because my family will suffer from my action. Then one day I decided that I'm going to live my life. And after that, it's completely different. Everything, you want to do that, you want to do this, you want to do that. And I did skydiving because I was in half suicidal mode. I had two logic at that time. One was, half of my body is gone. If another half goes, that's fine. Another one was, I never experienced skydiving, so I wanted to experience that. But when we landed safely on the ground, I realized that even you don't have legs, you can do something. And I had little confidence. I think I had little hope. After that, my aim was to, what can I do physically? And I tried, I did pretty much all the sports and adventure that I could put my hands on. And then after that, I realized that, you can do everything. It's a different way of doing things. I might need help a little bit, but even prime minister, presidents, they have so many people who are helping them to run the country. So I shouldn't, ashamed to ask for help. So after that, life is all about adaptation. If we adapt our life according to the time and situation and our abilities, we can achieve anything. My legs might be my weakness. We all have weaknesses. I think no one is perfect in this world. We have some kind of weakness, but that doesn't mean that we can't do anything. We can do everything as long as we adapt our life.
That is extremely inspiring. It's also how much of that is actually in your head rather than in your body, because losing legs didn't really stop you from doing all of those things. And it's kind of, it was in your head what was holding you from continuing in a way.
Yeah, I think this whole thing is all about head. So if you don't set your mind, your body won't follow. So let's say if I want to go to A, and if I set my mind there, I'll go how fast I can go. So let's say if I can run, I'll run. If I can't run, I'll walk. If I can't walk, I will crawl. If I can't crawl, I'll roll. If even I can't roll, maybe I'll use my mind that there is something can take me from there to that side, and we'll get there, sooner or later.
That's incredible. And how? Well, I guess it's quite clear how from all of that you went like, wow, why don't I just climb the biggest mountain in the world? So how did it get into mountaineering, and why mountaineering was such a thing for you?
So after my injuries, I was trying to do all sports and adventure to find out what can I do physically.
Right.
I didn't know how powerful is mind. I didn't know that. Then when I was skiing in America and here in Europe, looking at the mountain, I always, thought about, Mount Everest. Because when I was growing up from very little child, we used to get educated that Mount Everest is tallest peak in the world and it's in Nepal. And for Nepalese people, it's a symbol, it's a pride, it's an identity for the Nepalese people. I always had in my mind, even when I was in service, I wanted to climb that. And to climb, you need lots of time, you need lots of money, and I couldn't able to do that. And there was like in my mind was how and why. So some ways there was in my mind. Later I start sharing with my friends, and later I start gathering the team, and some ways I was tested myself. And yes, one day I decided myself that I'm gonna climb Mount Everest. Then it wasn't going back.
So once you made that decision, that's kind of like everything started falling into place for it to happen.
It didn't fall into place initially. So I supposed to climb in 2018, but in 2017, Nepalese authorities banned double amputees and visually impaired from climbing over 6,500 meters
Why?
in Nepal. I think they had lots of pressures.
Right.
That there are lots of people who were dying on mountains in Nepal. There were lots of rubbish, but also climate change. And I think they were trying to release a bit of pressure, maybe banning, double amputees and visually impaired. But I think they put more pressure on. I think why is because, even though the legislators that who make laws, they are very educated in academically, but I don't think they were very educated in sense of disability. So I think one of the things is that, but there was like some political, some other pressures that I think they made that decision. But I think it was just ridiculous that you can't ban someone because they can't do. I think we can't tell certain group of people that, okay, you can't do this, so you are banned. We can't say that.
Yeah.
I think we went to United Nations in Geneva. Unfortunately, United Nations can't force the countries to apply the rules. Whatever they make a decision, it's not law binding. It is simply, naming, shaming, and writing a report in the international arena and advising the countries. They can't stop the war now. And but we didn't have any choice other than going to court. So we went to Supreme Court in Nepal, and lots of my friends, disabled communities, and many others who helped us to fight through that case and were able to overturn. Then there was lots of other problems. Corona popped in, so I was thinking to climb maybe one and a half years time,
Mm.
but it took nearly 6 years to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, but you also overturned like a decision of a country, went to UN and done a lot of things. It's not just like it's again, it's an incredible resilience, an incredible desire to do something where you go like, it's not just the fact that you're already disabled, but and there is also a law that prevents you to do that, but you're like, I don't care about any of that. I'm still gonna do that. That is incredibly inspiring.
I think it's I'm Gurkha, and Gurkha's never given up.
I was going to ask you if you think that being a Gurkha prepared you to certain things in the mountains, and generally your military service prepared you in terms of mental resilience, but also in terms of just physical, resilience and kind of strength and everything. Do you think so?
Yes, I think definitely making successful the Everest expedition is, I think, mainly two things that played a really, really vital role. One, the way I grew up, one thing, and second is my military career, and the principles that I learned, physical ability that I have experienced in the military. So I think it played a vital role. I think those things, like say, for example, there is a principle of war in the British Army doctrine called momentum. So momentum is not about, going fast. It's just how slow, but it's keep it going.
Right.
And now if you keep it going, even 1 inch in a minute, is still, you will get there sooner or later, some way, somehow.
It's about kind of persistence.
Keep it going. Continuously keep it going without stopping it.
And that is something that you think was quite crucial for the...
Yes. So like say for Ben Nevis, it took 23 hours, 20 minutes. Mont Blanc, it took 23 hours. I think it took about 18 hours on Kilimanjaro on last summit day. So I knew that my body would last around that that time, and if we could able to make that, I think as long as we are prepared, we have oxygen, we have got a right team, and then it would be possible. I always believe that, but also, it's all about challenge as well. I think whole human revolution came from challenge. Like say, if Wright brothers, they didn't challenge themselves for flying, we wouldn't be flying. If, let's say, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, who didn't summit Mount Everest, maybe we still someone waiting to summit first, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even dare to dream of climbing Mount Everest without legs. I hope my challenge from Everest will teach at least something for our future generations.
I'm sure it will, because it's an incredible achievement, and you were the first double amputee to climb Mount Everest. Is that right?
I wasn't first double amputee, but I was first double above knee amputee.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is people with the knee and people without knees is completely different.
Yeah,
People can lift their knees, but you have got a longer gait so that you can go walk faster. But without the knees is difficult. So I'm walking like a penguin, simply from my hips. So that's why normally it takes 3 times longer than normal people. I burn 3 times more energy. That means that in more risk, the more team, more money.
Yeah. So what year was it that you've summited Everest?
It was 19th May 2023.
What was it like? What were the things you experienced there? Did you meet another part of Harry you didn't know about there on that summit?
I would say yes. I think I pushed, outside my boundary to do that. We challenge ourselves bigger when our reason why becomes bigger than us, I think. And when I was struggling it, the main thing was I was thinking the people that who helped me. Some of people who helped me. Initially, many people who didn't help me, like raising the fund was really, really hard. Initially, my plan was to, okay, I need over 300,000 pounds. So even with my story, I can able to reach over 300,000 people. Even they give me £1 each, problem solved. But it wasn't easy like that. People with the money, big money, they don't want to be seen giving smaller money. And so many other people who just not interested about mountain or whatever that is. So it was difficult. I approached lots of corporate companies, and those corporate companies, so it's amazing story, what you're doing, incredible, what inspirations. But when it came to the taking the money out from their pocket, it was about, we ran out the marketing budget or so many other excuses. And there was a reason behind that. One thing was they didn't believe that I could able to make it. Second thing was if something goes wrong on mountain, they didn't want it associated with me, which is fair enough. So that was the challenge. But itself, Everest was about 64 days total my expedition. And
that's from base camp.
No. I went from here UK to coming back to the UK. It was 64 days. I spent just over a week in Kathmandu after mainly after I'm coming back from Everest. As lots of medias and the government that who banned me before wanted to congratulate me. Actually, tourism minister came at the airport. And he was waiting me at the airport when I came.
Now he was happy about it.
And the same day, the Prime Minister called me in his office and congratulated me. So I climbed another mountain as a part of my acclimatization. So I climbed that mountain twice, which is we made another record. Then a direct flew to base camp. I walked to base camp all the way in 2022. So I really didn't want it to waste my energy there. So we were already climbed under a mountain. We were acclimatized, so we just flew in. Then we thought that the route is going to open earlier, but it didn't open early because of the weather. And 3 of the guys from the rope fixing team who Serac collapsed in Khumbu Icefall and buried them and they died. So that also took a little bit time to reorganize and go to fix the route. So it didn't, and we just waited 19 days at base camp. It was quite difficult to just keep focusing, getting fit. And from my tent to dining tent was 20 meters, and I spent there for 19 days. Then we thought that the weather is going to open and they're going to fix the route to the summit. So we went up to Camp 2. We went all the way through the Khumbu Icefall. We went at night because normally slower people go about 12 o'clock at night, and faster will leave around 3, 1, 2, 3, depends on their speed. We started 7:45 in the evening. Went up, and the guys caught us. Some front people caught us up just below the Camp 3.
Is that through the bit which is the ice? Is that the bit which has like lots of kind of broken ice and everything? Yeah.
Yes, it's called Khumbu Icefall.
Yeah.
It's a moving glacier. Yeah. So going at night, mainly out was 2 things. One thing is just get away from the other teams, so not to distract it because I'm slower. There's not not many places that you can,
Yeah.
pass through. You have
Yeah.
to wait. Many places. That not to distract other team. Another one is at night is frozen.
Yeah, because it
So it's
moves
less risky.
because of the sun, right? Because it starts melting, kind of, or is that not correct?
It's a moving glacier, and when it's warm, it moves.
Yeah,
So they call it every day. It moves about 3 feet,
it's incredible.
and it can collapse anytime.
Yeah,
And you get
great.
buried. And my team said so. So where the 3 guys from rope fixing to buried, my team said, "Okay, let's go. Let's go a bit faster." And I just couldn't go, and so I feel very sorry for especially 2 guys who has to stay with me.
And so from Camp 1, you go directly to the summit, or you still?
No, we go. So there are 4 camps.
Right.
So we went camp 1. We stayed camp 1 one night. Then next day we went camp 2. And we stayed 2 nights, but weather still didn't improve. So we came back down. And we did that 6 days at base camp again. And the route opened and we went up again. And then from camp 2 to camp 3, camp 3 to camp 4, just below the camp 3, I put oxygen mask on. My team, they put it at camp 3. Camp 3 to camp, I think it took 6 hours from camp 1 to camp 2, it took 4 hours. From camp 2 to camp 3, it took 6 hours. Camp 3 to camp 4 took 14 hours.
Wow.
And camp 4 we're supposed to put camp 5 and possibly camp 6, but our logistic didn't arrive, so we actually sleeping in someone's tent.
Oh, wow.
So we had no choice. I was already knackered, completely tired when we arrived at camp 4 at 6 o'clock in the evening, and the guy said, after 2.5 hours, we're going for a summit. I was a little tired and knackered, but I prepared for over 5 years.
Yeah.
So many people who are supporting me, who worked so much hard for me. And there are lots of organizations and charities. And I'm not just there. I'm representing people with disability. I'm representing Gurkhas.
Yeah.
I'm representing Nepal. I'm representing veterans. I'm also representing United Kingdom. And I have got 1 day to make it or break it. So, okay. As long as my team are safe, I'll keep it going until I collapse. So got ready, and we left about 9:50 in the evening. We wanted to leave early, but because of the team didn't get ready. So
what was the hardest bit there on that piece from there to the summit?
Every step is a struggle for me. If you see me climbing, simply for me, is every step is a struggle. And I think the reason why I didn't give is I had some kind of experience about mountain, how long it takes to cover, but I think it's more about your responsibility. You're not just going on your own. There are lots of people you're representing. I don't want, I don't want to show the government that, okay, this is why we banned you. I don't want to show that. I don't want to show that, people with disability can't do anything, can't climb the mountain. I didn't want to show that. I didn't want to show that the Gurkhas doesn't have a courage. I didn't want to show that. So I just wanted to show some spirit of the, Gurkhas, Nepal, and British Army, the ethos and values that carry, but also, prove that the people with the disability can do anything. And I just kept going. And I think the hardest part was some of my team came down while we were going up. That was hardest. I thought that, no, that's it. It's done. I'll just go slightly up and maybe give up and come down. And when we went up, say, okay, we can see the South Summit. let's go up to the south summit and let's see. And when once we get to the south summit, it's just summit. You see the Hillary step and summit. So I just asked my Sherpas, do you have enough oxygen? Yes. Can we make it? Yes. We just keep it going. And normally people summit around, well, people try to summit at sunrise.
Yeah, because it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It makes sense.
From the top of the wall, looking the sunrise, right? Average people summit around 8, 9 in the morning. And professional mountaineers, they don't, wherever they are at 12 o'clock, they come back down. But I always thought that if we need to do something that never done it before, the three things. One thing is we need to think differently. I have to work much more harder than other people, but also we need to take slightly risk. So, if we have oxygen, then we'll be fine. Let's keep it going. And we submitted 10 past 3 in the afternoon. So up to the Hillary step, weather was okay. When we after passing Hillary step, like a wind, snow, it is very bad on the summit. I imagine myself that, on the summit, I just close my eyes and feel that I'm here. We created a history.
Mm-hmm.
But also I wanted to see 360 how it looks from summit. And I had lots of flags and take some good photo and, get back down. But nothing happened like that. So it was really windy, cold. So I just made some emergency phone calls. None of our phone worked. So we, luckily the guys got 2 GoPros. So one GoPro didn't switch on. Sometimes one GoPro worked, which was GoPro Max, which is a 360 camera. And some ways we were able to take some pictures. I didn't know that actually we had that picture because I was in some of the mountain that when they take a picture completely, like a black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them completely black or some like completely white because of light or something like that. So I didn't know that. And it took her 3 days to download those pictures that we had something. So after that, I just made a few phone calls from sat phone. Some ways they got it. We didn't have any radio. Radio was taken down by other team, and just rush down to the mountain as fast as we can. And 2 of my guides, they left because their oxygen was running out. So they came back down, and luckily they reached Camp 4. 3 of us were left. And as we were halfway off the south summit, my oxygen ran out again. My Sherpa leader, he gave me his oxygen and he went down. He said, I will go down up to the balcony where it might be oxygen, where our team, return.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's oxygen, then I will wait you there. He said he went down, but there was no oxygen. So he went where from he left. He went without oxygen to the camp 4. Luckily, he arrived, and I and my brother were left on the mountain.
Without oxygen?
Yeah. We had oxygen, but we reduced our oxygen. So I was taking at 3, and I reduced to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was taking at 2, and he reduced to 1. And when we get down to the balcony, there was no oxygen. We were trying to find out the oxygen bottles, and even a Sherpa left. So it got dark, and I asked my brother can I have some water? And he took it out, completely frozen. We realized that our thermos can keep the warm water up to 18 hours only, and we are longer than that. And then after it got dark, so my headlight was taken by other teams down. So some ways my brother has still headlight, but it was used whole night before. So some way he switched on and it was like very dim. You couldn't see properly, but luckily we had like a fixed line. So we just got there. So I bombed down from South Summit to all the way down to wall of the Camp 4. And we just keep it going. And when we were about halfway down, we could see the other day's climber coming up.
Wow.
We could see their headlights. And we had like, say, hopefully they give us their spare oxygen and we can use that, get down, and we can send them with the other, because we knew that they were our team, and we can send that oxygen to those. And luckily, the front guy was our Sherpa. He was assistant Sherpa. He never been up high up there. He brought 2 bottles of oxygen with hot water.
He saved you.
He saved us. I think by the time when we reached Rakshan, maybe we had 5-10 minutes of oxygen left, I think. Maybe in about half an hour, you're dead.
Wow. What a story. I guess one last thing I wanted to ask you is, you've been through a lot of things in your life and through a lot of incredible things in your life and a lot of things that majority of the people would never experience. What was the scariest moment you've had? What was the moment maybe you come back in your head to out of everything you've been through?
I think there are lots of times that the scariest moment, when I lost my legs, I wasn't sure that I was going to survive and see my family again. Just before 3 weeks before I left Everest, I crashed my car and it went to scrap, and I was untouched. And what a stupid I am, and driving 4:30 in the morning, I felt. But also I realized that maybe I'm not going to die on Everest. But also on Everest, I didn't know that. I didn't 100%. I always knew that this is possible, because we made many impossible things possible. So without legs, climb Mount Everest is definitely possible. But I wasn't entirely sure that this was going to be successful. But also, I was going back home safely. It was difficult, but I think if we're scared, we're not gonna able to do anything. We were not able to walk in the street. We were not able to run. We were not able to drive a car. My dad used to say to me that if you're not meant to die, you're not gonna die anywhere. But if you are meant to die, you will die at home. So we won't die if we are not meant to die. I didn't die in Afghanistan. Many other mountains, very close calls for many other mountains as well. I didn't die in Everest. I didn't die crashing my car. And if I meant to die, I'll die at home. Or doing something else.
Thank you, Harry. That was really, really powerful, and it was really, really interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.